Okay, guys, so we are back with this Otome game again. Now we are on part, I believe, yeah, part 4. Okay, sorry, I'm getting confused with parts 1 now. Anyway, we are on part 4 now, and I know I got the last one kind of short, so we'll do this one just a bit longer than I have done the previous ones. So, Dad would sure be impressed. One icon, however, stood out from the rest. Virago. I double-clicked the icon, but no window came up. Instead, I heard a large click come from the door that was locked. What the? I slowly left my seat and walked over to the drawer, attempting to open it again. It slid open smoothly in the direction of my pulling hand, revealing 2 books. One was a plain black journal with a tie to it keeping it closed. The other was bound in leather with cryptic symbols all over the cover. I took out the journal and skimmed through it, seeing my grandfather's notes. They were all detailed explanations and opinion on his findings on demonic magic. He really did know about magic. I sat down at the desk and read through the journal further, finding drawings and sketches of symbols and magic circles, each with their own different meanings and effects. It was all fascinating. There was even a page of important spells to know. I read through them, trying to memorize them into my mind. I don't know what came over me, but I started to feel more energetic and more powerful simply reading my grandfather's notes. I was suddenly aware of the energy that surrounded my body and the power that was around the house. The more I read, the more powerful I became. However, my mind suddenly froze and I found myself walking back to the door, putting the book back and closing the door. The lock reset and I snapped out of it. Huh? What? I shook my head and looked at the drawer, realizing what I had done. I walked over to the desk to reopen the lock, but suddenly felt the need to stop. Something held me back and didn't want me to pry any more than I already had. I was curious beyond relief, but I obeyed my thoughts for now. Eventually I would come back and look into it. I returned to bed feeling the weight of the morning drag me under my covers to try sleeping again. I had energy, but I wanted more sleep. It was Sunday and nothing was happening today. Come on, eyes. Back to sleep. I shut my eyes and tried to slow my breathing. I looked at my phone to check the time once again. It was noon, yet it felt like I had slept for much longer. Why is time going so slowly? I sighed, got changed in normal clothes, and went out to the main hall and down the stairs. Sundays were very boring. However, the muffled sounds of battle caught my attention. Huh? I quickly went out to the backyard in response to the noise I had heard. In the yard were all 5 of the boys practicing fighting. Sam was in the middle with the other 4 surrounding him and throwing punches and kicks at him. Sam, being the strongest of the bunch, blocked and dodged each almost masterfully. Oh no, should we bother them or should we not? Yeah, good. All at once the boys looked at me, frozen in their movements. I just stood at the doorway staring at them after my outburst. Jane was the first to break away from the group, stepping towards me.
Good morning. We apologize if we woke you up.
No, it's fine. I've been awake for a while now. I'm sorry I interrupted.
It's quite all right. We needed to stop anyway. We don't want to overwork Sam.
Oh, come on. I can handle more than those pity punches.
Your mind seems grateful that we've stopped.
Shut up, Damien.
Oh, crap. We should probably make some lunch. I'm sure you're starving.
I can handle lunch if you like. You all seem to be very busy training to beat Malix. I'll take care of it today.
Whoa, seriously?
Yeah, why not? I'm not useless. I know how to cook and do other stuff too.
Well, no, I wasn't insinuating.
What he means to say is that we'd be really grateful if you could make lunch today.
No problem. As I turned to the kitchen, the boys went back to training. They seemed very determined to get better and to become stronger. Might as well make lunch today. It's been a while since I cooked. Lunch wasn't particularly hard. I decided to make Okay, let's see here. So they're all training, so pizza's out of the question, even though everybody loves pizza. Let's give them some protein. Gotta keep their inner strength up with protein. I took my time to make almost perfect chicken breast alongside some rice. Cooking was not hard unless you didn't know what you were doing in the first place. I placed the food in the dining room, however, none of the boys were there by the time I brought the final dish out. I carried that dish to the main lobby, catching the boys separating into different rooms of the house. Part of me wanted to go to one in particular. The other part of me wanted to just leave them be and take the food in my hand to my room and eat. Maybe I could go out today while the boys focus on training. What shall we do? I want to think go to. You know what? I'm going to do that. I quickly rushed back and grabbed a second food dish before hunting down one of the boys. I couldn't find any of them. I could only shrug, though. They knew where the food was, so I went to my room instead and ate alone in my room. It's not my problem. I turned to my computer and started to jam to music as I ate my food. As I ate, I began to think about going out. There were so many places to go, things to do. No, let's go there. I arrived at the cafe ready to relax. I didn't want to be stuck at home on a Sunday. Besides, the cafe always had something new to drink, no matter how often you came. I entered the double doors and looked around. Not many people were in it, and Kay didn't seem to be working today. Oh well, she can't always be working. I made my way to the pastry bar and took a look at what the cafe had to offer that day. There was always something new, no matter when you came, which is what kept people coming, myself included. As I browsed the lights, my mouth began to water. I had just eaten earlier, by the cast pastry always looked good enough to tease your appetite back into a hungry state. But the smell and the look of each dessert was carefully crafted to appease. You didn't regret buying one and biting into it. I finally made a selection to head to the cash register to purchase my treat.
What can I get for you?
Hi, I'll take a couple chocolate and raspberry macaroons and a pink lady latte, please.
Coming right up.
Lily was Kay's assistant, who mainly stuck to the cast finances and computer work. However, when Kay wasn't in, Lily took over becoming the face behind the cash register who gave you what you needed. Lily, where's Kay?
Kay had to fly out to New York suddenly. She said it has something to do with delivering something special to someone. I'm not too clear on the details.
Ah, okay, sounds like fun. Wish I could go to New York.
Don't we all? Here you are. Enjoy.
I took my order to a far corner table and got comfy. The pink lady latte was a calf special that everyone adored. It was a normal latte with a very subtle raspberry flavor. The foam was pink, too. Before I could indulge, however, a voice stopped me.
Oh, hey!
I looked up to see Naomi enter the cafe with a smile towards me. I smiled back, not expecting to see her. Hey, Naomi.
Mind if I join you?
Not at all. Naomi nodded before quickly getting herself a coffee cake slice and a latte and joining me at my table.
I've been wanting to try their latte for a while. Is it any good? This does taste good. I'll have to get this from now on. The raspberry is a really nice compliment with the coffee.
Naomi loved food when it wasn't made in the school cafeteria. She wanted to own a restaurant one day, but always focused on studying the business side. Naomi had natural cooking skills that made grandmothers seem like novices at making you amazing food. You should get macaroons next time with it. The raspberry macaroons definitely bring out the flavor in the latte.
I should.
Naomi slowly grew a look of thought on her face as she stared into her latte, probably thinking about food again. It was during these moments that I got to see a simpler, almost beautiful side of Naomi. She was very smart, smarter than me. However, she always held seriousness very close to passion, dedicating her heart to her dream. It was inviolable. I sipped my latte and ate a macaroon before speaking and breaking her thoughts. Thanks, by the way, for coming to my impromptu party. I know it was last minute at all. Naomi broke away from looking at her drink to look up at me in surprise, then with a smile.
It was my pleasure, really. I mean, our pleasure. Suzu came too, and all.
Naomi blushed a bit before clearing her throat and taking a sip of her latte. She then looked to me again with a slight frown.
But hey, how are you holding up from that? I'm sure meeting all those business people was tiring.
It wasn't anything I couldn't handle. It was just the suddenness of it that tired me out.
Well, I'm sure you did great. It was a great party. The food was amazing.
It was amazing. I slowly began to remember the party, remembering how I felt alone throughout it. I wanted to be with my friends, but I had to put on my business air to impress my guest and my father. Did I try too hard? I was supposed to be a simple party, but it felt like a job interview. Before I got too deep in my thoughts, I felt a hand gently cover mine. I focused my thoughts to reality, seeing Naomi gently holding my hand.
Hey, I know that look. You're about to overthink it. Don't. You did great. I'm sure of it.
Hey, I know that look. You're about to overthink it. Don't. You did great. I'm sure of it. I stared at Naomi, unsurprised that she caught on to my thoughts and happy to know that she cared. Oh crap, I just read her lines, didn't I? No, whatever. Thanks, Naomi. Naomi smiled and blushed, giving a small nod. She was obviously adorable when she smiled like that. I didn't know how, but her smile was about to make the room lighter. Naomi then pulled her hand away, placing it back on her latte with her other hand and cupping the mug, and sipped her drink. Naomi licked her lips and let out a sigh.
This is really nice. A relaxing Sunday afternoon at a cafe.
Naomi smiled and sipped her latte, ending the conversation. It was true, the day was pretty nice. I began to regret not taking my meal to go and sitting in the park or something. Naomi could have joined me. Naomi would have come with me anywhere if I wanted to leave. However, I didn't feel like moving from the tranquility of the cap, despite all the energetic pink all around me. Naomi and I eventually lost track of time and wound up chatting until the late afternoon. When the cap wasn't hopping, Lily would join us, and we'd talk about silly things like TV shows or movies.
Oh, wow! It's getting late. I gotta get home or my mom will flip.
Okay.
Would you like a ride home?
That'd be great, thanks. We quickly headed out with Naomi driving me home. It was nice to be alone with her rather than have the explosive Suzu around. I prefer Naomi's calm logic anyway. The remainder of the night passed by, surprisingly uneventful. The boys continued chatting with each other, but were kind enough to stop and make me dinner. I was glad for that. Unsurprisingly, the food was perfect, but I felt a little empty without the boys to eat with me. They most likely had already eaten, but still, I felt lonely. I couldn't let them bother me. I ate and went back to my room to study and sleep. Surprisingly, I felt good going to bed that night. I felt like I could have peaceful sleep after the previous rough nights I had. It felt good. Or I felt good, sorry. I drifted to sleep and woke up almost flawlessly that next morning. No gargles, no aches, perfectly energized and bright-eyed. Man, how long has it been since I got that much good sleep? I looked at my alarm clock. I woke up 10 minutes before my alarm. Well, hey, I must be my lucky day. Karma owed me some luck. After all I had gone through in merely a handful of days, I deserved to get some good luck. Ecstatic for the day ahead, I turned off my alarm before they could ring and got dressed. However, my phone started to quickly buzz from an incoming text. Huh? Who's texting me this early?
Yo, Anderson! You're carpooling with us from now on. We're not letting you waste your money on a bus. Get ready and be at your gate at 7 stat.
I smiled. My friends were the best. I couldn't drive yet and I didn't have a car, so it was awesome that my friends would let me carpool. I checked the time, 6:30. Perfect, I can eat some breakfast before they come. I packed my bag and carried it downstairs into the kitchen. I quickly made myself coffee and toast, not having time for anything big. I let out a soft sigh in happiness as I sipped my coffee. I felt great and I felt like nothing could stop me today. Come at me, day. I'm ready for you. I looked to the time again. Time to go. I quickly rushed to the doors, checking myself in the passing mirror. I wasn't waiting to impress anyone, but I still needed to look decent. At right in cue, Naomi drove up the gates with Suzu waving me down. I rushed out the door and we headed to the school, talking about the homework and the coming day. We made it into the school without a hitch. Our lockers were in the same part of the hall, so we quickly unloaded what we needed to and got our important books and necessities. First incident of the day. As I walked towards Suzu and Naomi, who were both waiting for me on the opposite side of the hall, something hooked my ankle and made me fall forward. Whoa, ow!
Hey, are you okay? Who did that?
The three of us looked back to see Lisette and her gaggle of girls. Lisette had a look of complete innocence, while the girls around her giggled like no tomorrow.
Why, you little... Suzu, don't!
I felt the giant fire of anger burn in my stomach as I stared at Lisette. Today was not only the time this had happened to me, however, it was now clear who was behind these incidents. Even if she was innocent and the one of her goons did it, it was now obvious that Lisette was the mastermind just from the look on her face. I saw she was no friend, nor would she ever be. I had to do something. I glared hard at Lisette, feeling wisp of air and magic run through my skin and veins. However, I stopped at what I saw. Around Lisette was a dark purple aura that seemed all too familiar. It was like demonic magic, but it seemed to be tamer. I slowly rose to my feet, collecting my belongings as I continued to stare at Lisette. Something was off. As I continued to look at her, the aura grew, forming a shadow behind Lisette, with red eye-like shapes glowing from within its darkness.
Anderson, you alright?
I couldn't respond. I was entranced by a small hum in the air. It was distant, almost like an ethereal whisper you'd hear in horror games, but it was real. It sounded vaguely of a woman humming a tune I didn't recognize.
Hey, are you okay?
Let's go. We'll be late for class. Sorry. Okay. I suddenly felt the need to walk away, so I did. Naomi and Suzu scrambled to catch up and follow at my new, quickened pace.
Sheesh, Anderson. You look like you saw a ghost.
Are you really okay? That fall was pretty bad.
Think she saw underneath Lisette's cake face and saw the devil itself.
Oh, Suzu, hush!
No, something was wrong with Lisette. It was more than just her being mean. There was something or someone watching over Lisette. Or they were watching me behind Lisette. What they were doing, I didn't know, but it was definitely demonic. Surprisingly, the rest of the school day went off without another incident. I went to my classes, had lunch, and was anxious to get home. As the bell rang for school to end, I felt my phone vibrate in my pocket. Huh? A text? From Dad? I'll be picking you up today. Make sure you're ready to go when I get there. That's kind of a surprise. I quickly headed back to my locker and got my things before waiting for Naomi and Suzu.
Hey, are you ready to go?
Actually, my dad's picking me up.
Really? Okay, I guess that kind of makes sense.
We'll drive home together next time. Tell your dad that we've got you covered from now on.
Yeah, alright. While I laughed, something didn't seem right. My dad texted me to say this. Why was he going to pick me up? Had I done something wrong? I didn't know. I waved goodbye to Naomi and Suzu before heading off to the usual spot where my dad picks me up. I took the time to listen to music while I waited. I need to go to another Rise of the Phoenix concert. Eventually I had played the entire album with no one showing up. What the hey? Dad's never late, especially not this late. I quickly dialed my dad's number again, but as soon as I pressed call, it disconnected and read a signal disconnection error message. What the? No signal error. How do I not have a signal? I double checked my phone and saw all 5 bars for signal. He must be in a dead zone. Before I could finish, a group of hands grabbed at my hands, feet, and covered my mouth. I screamed in the hand over my mouth, struggling to pull away from the hands grabbing my limbs. It felt disgusting and scary, feeling their hands on me. I needed to stop.
Hey! Don't dirty up Malix's prey!
The voice, which sent a fearful shiver down my spine, whispered into my ear.
You're coming with me, Miss Anderson.
I couldn't fathom what was happening, but before I knew it, I was blindfolded and my limbs were quickly tied up. I felt myself being carried somewhere and was shoved into something that echoed the interior of a bus or a van. The doors closed and off I was taken, unsure of where I was going and why. All I knew was that I was in trouble. All I saw was darkness. I felt numb as I was taken to a place I didn't know of. I couldn't even move my lips to scream. Sounds zipped past my ears, first of the interior of a car, then the outside, then an echoey space with whispers and cackles of people biting through it. However, the wrapper of my eyes was eventually removed from my face, and my bonds were cut. It took a while for my eyes to adjust, but I found myself in a warehouse, surrounded by devils, including Malix, who was smirking at me.
Nicely done! I'm sure those little shits will come running to find you when they realize you didn't return to your precious little mansion. They'll search everywhere for you.
Malix walked over and set the barrel of his gun against the skin between my eyes.
It'll be so funny when they find your dead body instead.
No way this was happening. No way was I going to let myself be a victim of this. I gotta remember, what was in that book?
What are you whimpering? Are you praying that the boys will come and save you?
I kept grumbling, trying to remember, and shut my eyes. Studying for a brief second wasn't enough to keep a spell in my mind, but I had to try something, anything. All of a sudden, the air grew still and silent. I opened my eyes and looked around and gasped at the sight. Everything was frozen in time, as if the clocks had stopped and everything had followed suit. What the? At first, I instantly wanted to move, but my feet were glued to the ground. I guess I could have changed time and escaped from where I was, but I was still lost. What was I supposed to do? A soft wisp of wind made me turn to a floating light purple orb. I stared at it, glowing, giving off a warm feeling. For some reason, this thing made me feel happy and content, despite the situation I was in. My heart felt like crying, yet I didn't know why. It couldn't have been grandfather? As I muttered, the orb slowly grew and faded into a spirit of my grandfather from when I saw him. I stared up at him, completely shocked that I was correct and that his form was standing in front of me.
I guess it was a good idea to bring the incubi here after all.
What? Is it really you? What do you mean? My grandfather smiled before patting my head gently. I couldn't feel it, but I knew he tried, so I closed my eyes in acknowledgement before looking at him again.
Sweetie, I'm sorry for not telling you, but I didn't know if you were ready to know.
That you handle demon magic?
Yes.
Why? What is there to gain from learning and using demon magic?
It wasn't a matter of gaining anything except knowledge. Through magic, I was able to learn more about the demon world and its wonders. I even met your incubi friends.
You met the boys?
Yes, it was I who helped them come here, but it seems it was at the cost of my life.
What? Why? Why sacrifice yourself like that? None of this made sense. He died to bring the incubi to the human world. Why? Why? Mine was particularly screaming in anger. I needed answers. With time being frozen, we had all the time in the world. Why would you die for something like that? Why leave us alone? Why leave me alone?
I wasn't intending to, my dear. But now that I'm gone, you have a chance to find yourself without anything hindering you.
What?
Your father had always been so hard on you. I'm to blame for that. He learnt of my studies before he married your mother and pushed me away, promising to never follow in my footsteps. As he was my son, I still loved and cared for him. I helped him in little ways, from paying bills and making sure he had food to come home with by adding money to his accounts. You don't know how hard your father worked to get to where he is now.
I stared, trying to take it all in. It was true that my dad worked really hard, but I didn't realize how rough he had it.
When you were born, I couldn't have been any happier. I tried to give you as many toys as I could, but many of them were tossed away by your father to protect you from me. I thought I would never be able to see you, but when I found you on the street, I was blessed enough to be given a chance. After I brought you back to your parents, I asked your mother to convince your father to let you visit me often, and he finally agreed.
Why does Dad hate you so much? Why put that on me?
Your father saw me as a monster. He was afraid I would hurt you. He wanted to protect you from me at all costs, even if it meant becoming a monster to you himself.
You did not know my father. You did not know what he was capable of.
He truly does love and care for you, but he doesn't want you to be as curious as I was.
Curious?
I chose to learn about magic. I grew curious about it. He thought that was wrong, so when I didn't give it up, he shut me out of his life.
Oh, what a stubborn old man.
So I did the only thing I could do. I gave everything I owned to you, including my hidden books your father never knew of.
My head began to spin. There was too much information. It was all going so fast, despite time not moving a single inch.
I'm just so happy that my curiosity stayed with you.
So, my grandfather met the incubi. They seemed so surreal. I could hardly believe it, yet here was the spirit of my grandfather telling me. It was almost like a dream. So you introduced them to the human world.
That's right. I told them about the wonders of our world, and they all wanted to come to experience it. So I helped them come over and gave them everything they needed. They traveled everywhere, and I helped them as they learned more about humans. Then, I suddenly stopped breathing. I don't know why, but I believe it was because my time was up. After I died, the boys tried to come back. However, Malix attacked them instantly when they crossed his path. I used the last bit of my strength to guide them to the estate so they had a place to stay to heal.
So that's why they were there in the house. But they said they didn't know about the house belonging to anyone.
I never told them it belonged to anyone. I merely told them to head to the estate for shelter until they could learn to live on their own.
If the estate was meant for them, why give it to me?
I never knew your father would move you in so quickly. Even still, you managed to learn of them and learn of the demon world. You even were curious enough to study the magic.
Why not teach me when I visited?
You were too young to understand. I was hoping that you would make the choice to learn on your own when you were ready to handle it. And you did. I'm so proud of you.
What are you saying? I've barely begun reading it. I don't remember anything.
I will help you remember.
Then my grandfather gently bent down and kissed my forehead. All at once, my mind began to fill with spells and history of arcane magic, the demon world, and everything my grandfather had known. I looked at my grandfather again, now able to remember everything and more as he smiled down at me.
Never forget. Make your own choices and do what you need to do. Don't let someone determine your life for you. If you decide to never look at magic again, I'll understand. But now at least you know it's there.
My grandfather then patted my head before turning and walking away. I tried to follow after, still unsure and lost in everything, but my feet remained stuck to the floor. Wait, please! He didn't turn back and he didn't stop walking. Soon he vanished past the wall, leaving me alone once again. I gritted my teeth, trying not to cry. My mind was filled with both the power to defend myself and a large amount of confusion I could never hope to shake off. I could feel the air around me start to move again, so I tightened my hands into fists, trying to push away my concerns. I had to remember, I was Malix's captive. I had to escape. After I escaped, I could figure out my life. Soon, the world around me returned to normal. With Malix mocking me, I closed my eyes and began to mutter a spell from my memory. Spiritus lumen da fortimendum tuam.
What the? Latin? What are you?
Decido. All of a sudden, a wave of light burst from my body, washing over the room and pushing the devils away from me to the ground. As the light quickly faded, I shook my head, feeling a small weakness in my legs. Malix quickly hopped up and growled at me, obviously surprised, but irritated beyond belief.
Where did you learn that? I will rip that tongue right out your mouth!
Spiritus tenebrem percolium prohibere.
Come here!
Malix charged at me, dropping the gun that would never hurt me to the floor and reaching for my face. However, I quickly crouched down and covered my head with my arms while a dark magic circle appeared under my feet. Above me, a dark shield appeared, blocking Malix from touching me.
How? You're just a human!
A human who knows how to fight back. I pushed against the shield, forcing Malix back before standing. I wasn't some damsel in distress. I could fight for myself. I shook off the sudden appearance of numbness in my hands as I glared at Malix, challenging him once again to come at me.
Malix!
No! Stay out of it! I'll kill this bitch with my own two hands, one way or another!
As commanded, Iris stood away from us along with other devils. The group watching us was lost in the intrigue as I stood up against our leader.
Oh, you must think you're some tough shit since you know some demon magic, huh? Well, guess what, princess? Demon magic consumes energy. I can play this all day, and when you finally lose all your energy, your ass is grass.
I glared, knowing that what he said was true. I couldn't hold out forever, but I definitely had the energy to last a while until someone found me or until I could overpower Malix somehow. Malix charged at me once again, causing me to run backwards to keep some sort of distance. I could feel energy waiting to shoot out of my hands, so I pointed my palms at Malix. Light purple spikes suddenly began shooting from my hands, forcing Malix to skid back. I had terrible aim, only able to scratch the edges of his body with one or two actual stabbing to his shoulder and leg. Malix growled, pulling him out and throwing them to the ground.
Quit playing around, Malix!
I lowered my hands, feeling the numbness run up through my veins to consume both my arms. I began to pant, desperate for some relief before continuing. Malix smirked at the sight. Oh, for the love of God, please someone find me, I prayed. I hoped that I wouldn't have to keep fighting. I was becoming desperate. What made everyone in that warehouse drop or fighting faces was the screeching of a police sirens coming closer to our location. Malix smirked even wider.
It's time to have fun, boys! Make sure you kill them all!
Devils all seemed to get excited and started to walk past us to meet with the cops, but a flawed finger snap stopped them and made them turn around. Malix and I looked to see Iris with her hands in the air, post-snap.
Iris? What are you doing?
Enough, Malix! We've wasted enough time in this stupid town. I'm getting out of here and I'm taking the rest with me.
I didn't know whether to laugh or not. I bit my tongue as Malix got angry again.
Like hell you are! Boys, do as I say, or else!
None of the boys moved. Iris snapped her fingers again, causing the boys to rush back past her and out another way from the warehouse.
Malix, it's over. You can't even beat a human girl. You're losing your powers. Lower devils only follow higher-ups that actually have power.
Shut your mouth!
Malix summoned his gun to his hand and shot multiple times at Iris, who somehow managed to teleport away from the shooting line and reappear by us. She shook her head, letting out a sigh before grabbing Malix by the neck and pulling him off of me. Malix started to choke as Iris stared coldly at him.
All this for a bunch of pretty boys. You must be stupid and desperate.
Iris looked at me, making me tense up.
Human! I suggest heading home to your pretty boys. You don't want to get involved in a supernatural investigation. It's a pain in the ass.
She turned back to Malix, glaring daggers at him as he glared back at her.
You really think women are weak? Let me fix that, sweetie.
And with that, Iris vanished in the shadows, taking Malix with her. As I was left alone, the police siren stopped. I looked over to the open passage to see the incubi with a large police siren megaphone staring at me in surprise.
Where is he? I swear I'm gonna...
He's gone. Iris took him and left. They won't be coming back. It was so surreal. I was helped by a devil, but I quickly shook off the feeling. I was alive, and that was all that mattered. I fought to stay alive, and there I was. The boys tried to question me, but James cleared his throat, catching the attention of his brothers and me.
Let's just get you home, miss. There's nothing more to see here.
All together, we began to walk out of the warehouse back home. There was no way in hell anyone was going to find out about this. It was over. Malix was gone, and the boys were finally safe. A wave of relief ran through my body at the thought of never having to deal with that group again. At the same time, a pang of realization hit the back of my mind. The boys were only going to stay until after Malix was defeated. That was our deal. As we approached home, I could feel something heavy weigh down on my heart. It was late, but the boys led me inside and turned on lights in the lobby.
Finally, we can relax.
It will be good to have some rest without devils breathing down our necks.
I'm just tired. Can I hit the hay early?
I think some sleep would be good for all of us.
Oops, I think I skipped something. I looked at Damien knowing he could read my mind and frowned. I didn't want him to know about my thoughts on the situation. Yeah, bed sounds good. I wanted to just end tonight. Too much had happened and it felt dizzy just trying to figure it out. However, Damien spoke up, stopping all of us from moving.
Should we be gone in the morning?
The air became still with tension. The realization of the situation hit the boys like a wave, forcing them to turn to me in curiosity. They had remembered their deal and were now awaiting me to decide their fate. However, I knew my answer. I couldn't keep them here. I knew I couldn't. They were demons and I was a human. I needed to deal with my own life beyond anything else. If the boys stayed, my life would only become more complicated. I think that would be best. James nodded in agreement, keeping a professional tone in his voice as he replied to me.
Then we will be gone before you wake, miss. Thank you for letting us stay here as long as we did.
I could feel the upset emotions of our incubi reverberate in the room, but I couldn't change my mind. I had too much going on in my life to let them stay, no matter how much I wanted them to.
It was a pleasure to have served you, beautiful lady.
It was hard watching every boy turn away from me for the last time. I stood there waiting for them all to leave the lobby.
I guess this is goodbye. Yeah. Have a good one.
I stuck to my guns. I knew I was making the right choice.
Thank you for having us, miss. Maybe we'll see each other again.
Maybe. Maybe not.
Goodbye.
As Damien left my side, I finally let in air that I was dying into my body inside. My life would return to normal. Well, as normal as it could be. However, I was smarter and wiser than before. I knew of things beyond humanity now. I had come to learn about the boys and about the existence of the supernatural. I wasn't blind to what was beyond human life. Learning of this made me more open-minded. I nodded to myself before heading into my room, closing the door and mentally allowing the reality of the situation to sink in. Tomorrow I had school. No devils to kidnap me, no incubi to wake up with. I went to bed that night, accepting and not regretting anything. Or so I had hoped.
You are an interesting creature.
I opened my eyes to see a woman staring down at me with a very sly smirk on her face. I opened my mouth to scream in fright, but a hand quickly covered my mouth.
No screaming now. Too early, silly girl.
I could only stare up at the woman above me. I still felt weak, not having the strength to move and fight her off. She was very beautiful, but I felt more anger than amazement.
Why do the boys like you? You're unique, yes, but that can't be all that you have going for you.
Rage began to consume my core again. This woman, whoever she was making me mad. She must have known as she let another smirk grow on her face.
Ooh, you're feisty. That could be why.
Before I could bite her hand in anger, she removed her hand from my lips, standing up and staring down at me from her place next to my bed. I quickly sat up and glared daggers at the intruder. Who the hell are you, and why are you in my room? The woman began to laugh, making the rage inside me increase. I wanted to punch her, but I waited for her answer.
How silly of me. I forgot that we demons are not well known of in your world. You can call me Diana, little human.
Diana? Demon? You're a demon?
I am, but I'm much more than just an average demon.
What do you mean?
Silly girl. I'm a succubus.
I stared at Diana in shock. A succubus? First incubi, now a succubus. Great, I have now met both genders of sex demons. Diana crossed her arms under her bosom and looked at my body.
Well, you are pretty. But you seem very reckless. Too reckless.
I moved out and stood from the bed, still glaring at Diana. Why are you here?
Well, I came here to clean up what the boys clearly forgot to clean. Men. So sloppy.
What do you mean by that?
I mean erasing your memories, sweetie.
This woman wasn't serious, was she? She comes into my room and spots this. This was ridiculous. I began to walk towards my door, wanting to leave the room. The boys could get rid of her. I had no mind about dealing with her myself.
The boys are gone, sweetie.
I froze in place. What? They were gone already? No way. I turned to Diana, glaring hard at her as she kept a smirk to me. You're lying.
Am I? If you want to go see for yourself, you can, but I promise you'll be wasting your time.
I stared, trying to find any hint if she was lying. She had to be. The boys wouldn't just up and leave without resting first, right? Diana crossed her arms and waited for me to make a choice. I decided to leave her for now. I'd find some hint in this conversation. What do you mean, take my memories?
Well, we demons can't have just anyone knowing about us. You have to completely devote your soul to learning about us. And even then, it's not always guaranteed that you can be granted knowledge of us.
What makes me not desire to know everything? I was attacked by devils. I found the boys in my house, wounded and sheltered them. I think I deserve to remember those moments. Diana let out a laugh, running a hand through her hair before looking back to me amused.
You were attacked by a gang and were almost killed. You found 5 homeless men and let them stay in your home. There's nothing special about either of these instances.
Yes, there was.
A human like you can't understand the rules. The boys themselves aren't even aware of the rules. They'll learn soon enough.
Diana flipped her hair before looking at me with a stern look.
Listen, sweetie. You're not going back to bed or leaving this house with those memories. I'm taking them from you, one way or another.
I glared, standing my ground. You're not taking my memories. I'm not letting you take them.
And what do you plan to do with them, huh? Tell the press? Gossip to your friends that demons exist? Confess to your parents that you had demon servants and were almost killed by a devil gang?
Now she was making me mad. Did she seriously think I was this stupid? These memories were precious to me, and I wasn't going to let her win over my mind. These memories are important to me. I know that other creatures exist. I know that magic exists. I'm more open-minded now.
Open-minded or gullible?
What did she mean by that? The point of being open-minded was to be open to all thoughts. How was that anything close to being gullible?
There is nothing to learn from remembering the boys that won't bring trouble. I'm merely saving you from that. There are more than just demons who want to keep their existence a secret. There are many creatures in this world that don't want to be known of, and you remembering a small fragment is not acceptable to them without good reason.
Diana smirked.
If you would have kept the boys, or at least had one of them around, they'd be a little more lenient to listen to your pleas. However, you're about to go into tomorrow without any of them around.
I couldn't believe my ears. There were more than just demons. Other fictional creatures existed. There was a system. What? Diana sighed and snapped her fingers, lifting my body up from the ground with her magic.
Look, I can kill you and no longer waste what little time I have, or I can erase your memories and go on with my life. I have more important things to do above arguing with you.
I looked down at the ground to see something that made every nerve in my body quickly quake in fear. On the ground was a large, open mouth with sharp, wet teeth, leading to an empty black abyss. I could feel the heat from the mouth's breath pant against my floating body. Ah! I looked at Diana, who was looking at me with a stern and almost heartless gaze.
Make a choice, sweetie. Give up your memories, or be a demon's snack. I warn you, he's quite the biter.
I was panicking. I was about to die. Again, the boys weren't here to protect me. What was I going to do? I don't know. I like to fight. I was going to let her win. I wasn't going to let her win. I knew I could fight her. I began to pull on the hold on me roughly. My mind was fighting, but my body wasn't responding.
You still wish to fight?
Diana rubbed her temples before walking to me.
I've had enough of this.
All of a sudden, Diana grabbed my head, making my mind blank out. I felt large waves of energy zip from my body and mind at her touch, but it intensified as Diana placed her lips on mine. I didn't kiss back. I didn't fight. I couldn't do anything. I could only stare as she drained my body of energy. My body began to go limp, and my mind grew insanely heavy. If it wasn't floating, I would surely be on the ground passed out. How was she able to pull this much energy without doing anything more than kissing me? I would never know. Soon my whole body felt numb, and I felt like an empty spirit floating in midair. Diana slightly frowned at the sight.
Such a waste.
Diana ran a hand over my hair, twirling a strand around her finger.
So long, sweetie.
Before I knew it, I was falling. She had let me go. I could only close my eyes. I didn't even feel a thing. End. So long, sweetie. Well, apparently I got a bad ending. Well then. Well, that's the first part of this, I guess. So I guess I'll show other endings in another video. So, hope you guys enjoyed.